2 years ago, while working part-time in QA, I started wondering if I could be able to make a game on my own. That's when my journey as a hobbyist video game developer started. Since then, I have made small demos and vertical slices that never came out. These are the games that you are seeing right now on your screen. The first one was supposed to be a Metroidvania that would happen inside a ship with a Dead Space kind of twist where the crew had become contaminated by some kind of space creature. For obvious reasons, it was unrealistic of me to believe that I could finish a project like that on my own. It was supposed to have a lot of mechanics, including a skill tree for example, and the map was huge. The scale for the game was just too big and my pixel art skills were just not up to the task. The second one was a 2D puzzle platformer about two climbers falling inside a crevice while climbing Mount Everest. One of the characters would die in a fall while the other survived, but due to some mysteries they could transfer their life essence to the other, making it a platformer where you can control two characters, one at a time. This one had more potential, as for this project I had the help of a 2D pixel artist that took care of most of the assets for the game. Sadly, the 2D artist working on the project with me had no more time to work on the game, and I either had to finish it on my own or just cancel it. And I ended up cancelling it. Both being 2D pixel platformers, I will admit that originality was not the strongest point of those games. But if those games were not that original, they taught me a lot about video game making and made me more confident regarding my capability to create my own game someday. Having worked on making games for about 2 years in and out and not releasing anything kind of felt bad. That is why I have decided that 2025 would be the year I release a game no matter what. For now, the timing for the release is 6 months from now, but as you might be aware, it never goes to plan and it might take longer. The maximum limit I am setting is December 2025 or early 2026. It is the maximum I will let myself push back release. But what kind of game could fit in a development cycle of 6 months, you might ask? This is the question I'll be answering from now on. Welcome to the first devlog of the game I'll be creating. But what game? If you know me well and have seen my apartment, what you will notice is I have a big interest in plants. Some of them are in better shape than others, but it brings me a lot of joy seeing them grow bigger and stronger. This is why I have decided to create Plant Shop Manager. The name is subject to change. A game about owning a plant shop in which you will be able to plant, grow and sell your plants to improve and customize your shop. While thinking about the game, the first big question I had to myself was, should I make it 2D or 3D? Being quite bad at drawing and having a bit of experience in Blender, I opted for a 3D game, as you might have seen from the footage of me building the shop. It was really important for me to get the looks of the game right, as it is the first thing that players will see, whether it's on a Steam page or here on YouTube. I wanted the shop to look cute and warm while being kind of low poly, allowing me to create all assets in a decently fast way and allowing me to take more time on modeling the plants right. In order to get the feel of the game right, I decided to model the entire shop, and I must say that I'm pretty happy with the results. And here is the result for the shop. This can still be subject to change, but for now I'm pretty happy with it. Let me know in the comments what you think about it or if there is something that could be better. Though having a shop modeled in 3D is nice, it would be nice if I had something to sell. For a plant shop, let's say, having a plant. That's why I decided to model one of my favorite plants ever, a Monstera. I modeled it in 4 stages of growth, and I must say that I'm really fan of the last version of the plant. So now we have a shop and a plant in Blender. Next step is to have it in a game engine. Now comes the question that every indie game developer asks themselves. What game engine? Since both of my previous games were on Godot and my game being not very reliant on graphics quality or performances, just that Godot was the way to go for me. I know Unity a bit as well, but I do not feel as comfortable with it as I am on Godot. This project also being my first 3D project, adding a new game engine sounded like a bit too much to deal with. So I started setting up my Godot project, got the 4.3 versions of Godot, set up a GitHub repository, added all the necessary settings to have blend files working on the project, and finally started creating all the folders I will need in order to have a clean and organized project. With all that done, it was finally time to import all the created assets inside the Godot project. One of the issues I had right away is that the outlines of the 3D models would look kind of jagged. Being unfamiliar with how 3D works, I had no idea why this was happening. After a tiny bit of research, I found that this was due to anti-aliasing. So I pushed it all the way to the maximum and it was fixed. This is something that I need to keep in mind moving forward, as I will probably need to have a setting for it in the final version of the game. But now that it kinda looked good enough, I decided to set up a Trello board with all the necessary steps that I could think of. From there, I decided to proceed with creating the basics of the mechanics of the game, and after only an hour or so of coding, I had a way to make the plant grow, to set up a price for said plant and then selling it if the price is low enough. Additionally, I had an if statement to check if the price is too low. The plant would still sell, but it will give a message. This will be used down the line to create customer reactions, which will help in turn the player choosing the proper prices for his plants. And this is all I've done in about 2 weeks of work. You might think that 2 weeks for that is quite slow progress. Keep in mind I am working full-time on another job and can only work a few hours at night or on the weekend. I'm hoping having to deliver a video on how the game is progressing might help me getting more efficient and motivated. I do not know yet how often I will be releasing an update on the progress of the game, so for now I'll try to keep a cadence of one video every month. But if I see that good improvement has been made and an update is due, I will be uploading sooner than planned. In the next video, I will try to have some basic lighting done, the plant growing room modeled, and having improved on the logic for the gaming loop. If you feel like the game may interest you, or if you would like to see the insides of video game creation, subscribe and hit the bell button to get notified whenever the next video comes out. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and I'll see you in the next devlog of my Plant Shop Manager game.